Hello, I'm Aiden,
And I'm Rosie.
and welcome to Reddit Unsolved. Now keep in mind, everybody, Rosie here has not heard any of these before. She might have heard little, bits of it from, YouTube holes that she's gone down. I know we all have, but today I'm going to be going more in depth of them. Now our first case is the Matrix. Now this is a quite popular theory. The Matrix is supposed to be a computer-generated world that we supposedly all live in. Now, this could be any sort of, computer generation. It could be, like a Sims game of a middle schooler. Or it could be, some, scientific generated world that they could pull the plug on any moment when they realize that we're all suffering. Now, on any computer that is running a large program, there's bound to be mess-ups, glitches, things that happen twice. And today we'll be looking at some of those examples. Today, we will look at our first evidence that Reddit has towards the theory of the Matrix.
Can you tell?
Yeah, it's a little creepy. So, one day, two sisters were just kind of sitting around, hanging out. They were adults. Number one got an unexpected call. I'm just going to call them number one and number two because they did not disclose their names. Yeah. So, the person did not answer because, who picks up calls nowadays, and especially if you don't know them.
Always me. I'm not getting sales calls, so I can mess with them.
That's a great idea. But she didn't think of that. So, because the sister didn't want to be called anymore, she gave the phone to her other sister, who decided she's gonna, prank call whoever this is.
I'm with this other sister.
Yeah, so they end up calling like 10 times, and she finally gives it to her other sister, and the last time that they call, she picks up, and the person on the line is their mother. And it says, "Hello, is this girl number one?"
Is it? So they think it's a sales call, but it's her mother?
Yeah, so this person is calling them like over and over and over again, and it's an unrecognizable number, and they pick it up, and it's their mother, and it's like, "Hello, is this girl number one?" And
I recognize her mother. Okay,
this is the weird part. And so in the background, so the second sister who picked it up, she says, "No, this is not. This is, the sister number two." And she said she could hear her father's voice, like, panicking in the background, like, saying, like, panic things and crazy things. She couldn't quite hear what it was, but she could hear that he was, like, freaking out. And so when she said, "No, this is this person," her mother hung up. And something to note was that the mother also sounded panicked and weird. So later, she asked her mom if she got a new phone. She did not. And she denies that she ever called the sisters. Something else to note. Although they did not disclose the names, it was said that sister number one had an uncommon name, so it couldn't have just been like, "Hello, is this Sarah?"
Yeah, or like Brittany or something.
Yeah, something very common. So now to get into the theories. Number one is that it was a glitch. So the first theory was from, a lot of these theories are either from me or are from, the comments on these Reddit posts.
I already have a theory, but I'll hear your theories.
Oh no, tell me your theory.
No, I want to hear your theories first.
Okay.
You might have already come up with it.
So, number one, it was a glitch. And so the theory alludes to the fact that there might be other simulations out there, and this is a call from a alternate simulation. This could be something compared to like the multiverse theory, where multiple. Yeah, I like that theory, where there are multiple dimensions and multiple universes, and this call just kind of crossed over.
That leads very interesting questions on this world building. So sorry, that just takes me all sorts of directions.
Number two, this doesn't fit in with the Matrix, but I had to include this one. Her and her husband were in the Illuminati. Yeah, this is suggested quite a few times in the comments of that post, and I just found it quite interesting. I personally don't think the Illuminati is actually up and anything but a joke, because there is a Illuminati website.
Aiden, you're gonna disappear while you're sleeping tonight.
I am. I'm gonna be gone.
If this video has to be uploaded by me, then we all know Aiden's dead because of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. No. Go on and say your thing.
Okay. So my theory. What was my theory? Hold up. I had a theory. It was like I think. Okay. So the Matrix is like it's the world's a simulation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think if it's for it, my theory is that the people who were running the simulation were really bored one day and they were like, huh, how can we freak them out? And they were like, well.
So you just wanted to play a prank on us.
Yeah, I think they were just screwing with us. They were like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, we have nothing better to do. And all the other scientists were like, no, you'll mess with our results. And they were like, whatever.
Yeah, it won't affect that much. Nobody will believe them. We believe you.
Except me.
Our second case is the Hollow Earth theory.
It's the one about lizards.
It could be.
I don't like the lizard one.
It's quite a broad theory. And it's pretty popular. It didn't originate on Reddit, but it's quite popular on there, and a lot of people, believe it. I first heard it on Ancient Aliens.
Wow.
It's a shout out to that show. Yeah, it's a interesting show. Sometimes their theories are crazy, but sometimes they can be logical. Anyway, moving on. So the Hollow Earth theory started out with a man named Richard Byrd. Spelled with a Y. He was a Navy admiral. He was a Navy admiral and an explorer of the Arctic. And on one exploration, where he set out to fly over the North Pole, he had already flown over the South Pole, and he found out that there was actual land there. Yeah, he was pretty cool. And I don't know what it was about this period of time, but people just liked flying over things. This is like when, planes started.
It's a new experience. It's legit. It's like, I am a bird. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, it was super dangerous. That's why Amelia Earhart, died. One day when he set out to fly over the North Pole, because people like doing that, he spotted a hole, huge hole. Now this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
He claimed that he flew down the hole and he found lush forests, animals that were previously extinct, like mammoths and stuff like that.
The center of the Earth book?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Like, this is where the idea first came up. So it was those two, and a civilization. Like, a super advanced civilization.
Wow.
When he landed, because he decided that he should land, he was greeted by a strange-looking being that was called the Master.
I'm getting some Doctor Who vibes here.
The Master.
That's so sketchy. I feel like if I met somebody called the Master, I'd be like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm leaving. Bye, bro.
And so his account of this is very controversial. People just say, he's crazy.
No such thing.
That's why we're here. Now, the Master is theorized to be many things. One, an alien.
But he lives on Earth.
Yeah, well, people who come into our country is technically an alien. So it could be aliens that came to this planet and are now living inside the Earth. Human species that was previously, sometime in the past, went to the North Pole and got separated from the rest of humanity and just kind of forgotten about.
That's what really happened to the Neanderthals, however you say it. They evolved to become the Master. Okay.
And three, it could be an interdimensional being. Yeah. There have been many theories about what the Master told Admiral Byrd.
Did he not write it down?
He said something like, make peace with other nations and stuff like that. The average alien thing. Yeah, that's another thing that's contested. Because he said a few different things about what the master said to him, when he got back. So some people speculate that he's lying and he just can't keep track of them.
Oh, okay, that makes I'm already developing
Yeah.
a theory.
So you might be thinking, there's not much evidence for this, which there really isn't. However, some religions have some form of like place inside the earth that's like heaven, and so that could be where our souls go after we die.
That's the opposite of where my theory went. Okay, continue.
And then it's also theorized that we are the ones living inside of the earth, and that the sun is the core of the earth,
Wait a second.
and that they are on the outside of the earth.
This does. That one I have more trouble wrapping my head around.
I know, right?
That one just doesn't make like. Are you saying that like the Earth, instead of having like the crust and then whatever comes after the crust, it's like. But
Yeah,
Earth,
it's like
and then like
our
space,
Earth and then space.
and then like sun and then like another layer. Y'all, that just doesn't seem right.
Oh no, it's the outer crust of the Earth, where we might see it as the hollow Earth, and then there's us on the inside, and then there's like space in between us. There's the moon somewhere in there, and there's the sun at the very center. So this is more of a heliocentric model.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah.
I guess it kind of makes sense.
And the theory is that, it's just so massively large that we couldn't see across. We only see black.
Yeah. That makes sense. No,
Yeah.
kind of. It's an odd concept.
Yeah, so what's your theory?
Okay, so my theory is, so you know how like people, when they always talk about like how they talk about it like being like below or whatever? Okay, so my theory is Bird, we're just gonna call him Bird because apparently I can't say that word, when he flew, because he flew under, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think he meant the master, and the master was really Satan, and Satan was trying to tempt him by showing him like this beautiful place or whatever. And obviously I don't know if Admiral Byrd was like religious or whatever, because that would kind of make more sense. But then he like, when Admiral Byrd was like, no, I kind of want to go back. Satan was like, oh well, you know what? The world's gonna end and everything is horrible, and like told him like all this horrible stuff about like how the world was gonna end, how nations were gonna be at war. And Admiral Byrd came back and he was like, holy smokes, I cannot tell anybody this because if I do, the world is just gonna like descend into chaos. So he made a bunch of stuff up because he also wanted to like, he was just so freaked out by it, he had to like tell somebody. But when he did, he was like, holy crud, I can't tell them what I saw, like what I heard him say. So he just made up this stuff about the master being like a good person. And in doing, I just came up with the new part for my conspiracy. And that was Satan's plan all along. So that people would think that the master was like a good person, so people would want to see the master. I'm a genius.
Yeah.
I came up.
Well, that's all we have for today. If you guys have any more theories that you think we should look at, they don't necessarily have to be on Reddit. I'm sure I could find something on Reddit about it. Like literally anything. It doesn't have to be conspiracy theories. It could just be mysteries. Bye. I'm Aiden.